What's up, YouTube? My name is Shayna. My eyebrows are blue today. I'm excited to talk about some books. So I wanted to just briefly talk about the books that I've read since we've been in quarantine. I'm a college student and I haven't really read for fun in years. But now we're in quarantine. I got nothing but time and I've done some reading. So I thought I would talk about the books that I've read, and I have read all of these books on my Kindle. And I've read all of these books, I think, are all available on Kindle Unlimited. So that's what I've done. I haven't wanted to shell out the money quite yet for buying like individual books that are very good, but I know if I want to be a booktuber, I'll have to do that eventually. So let's just jump right into it. I started off quarantine with a banger. I started off with The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. Everyone and their cousin has read this book, and there's a reason why. It is really good. It's really entertaining. It is well written. The characters are interesting, and the plot doesn't go exactly the way that you think it's going to go. I'd recommend this book to anyone. It is a strong 4 stars for me, and I loved it. And I would really love to read the next book in the series. Amazon, please put that on Kindle Unlimited. Thank you. So after that, I read a not so banger. I read The Butterfly Garden by Dot Hutchinson. The Butterfly Garden is a semi-thriller mystery type book. It involves a young lady. She gets kidnapped, essentially. She joins the ranks of other kidnapped young ladies, and that's all I'll say about it. The back blurb gives you a pretty good idea of what happens in the book, and guys, this book is bad. I think I gave this 2 stars. This book is like, girl, I mean, I read the whole thing. I was pretty entertained for most of it. The characters are not well developed. The plot line is like shaky at best. But it was entertaining enough because it kind of had that like dark, twisted element to it. So it was kind of like watching trash TV. I can totally imagine like a bad made-for-TV movie based on this kind of book. I think that if you read the blurb and you like it and you think it sounds fascinating, then you might like this book. No hate, but I think it's generally kind of bad. So next thing I read was kind of a change of pace for me. It was When We Believed in Mermaids by Barbara O'Neill. And this book is not really at all mystery or thriller like it was kind of described to be in the blurb. Excuse me. I think it was placed in the thriller category, and that's how I came to find it anyways. But I thought this book was pretty lovely. I thought it was nice. I thought it was written well. I thought that the characters were interesting enough. I thought the plotline was interesting enough. I didn't jam through it like I would through a really good thriller, but I enjoyed reading it. I think I'll give this a 3.5 or 4 stars. It was definitely enjoyable. It's not going to stick with me long term, but I think that anyone would like reading this, and I would read another book by Barbara O'Neill. I thought she did a great job setting the tone, and the pacing of the book was very nice. And like I said, I did kind of relate to the main character. There is a slight romance element to it, and I thought that was fun. I thought it was nice. Nothing that made me cringe too hard. It was pretty good. I thought this was a good book. Next, I read 2 books out of the Stillhouse Lake series by Rachel Kane. So I really enjoyed the Stillhouse Lake series. I thought that the first book was really good and very interesting. It kept me engaged. I liked the characters. It is a thriller, and it has to do with the unknowing wife of a serial killer. And this book starts where her husband has already gone to jail. They explain that a little bit. but it's mainly about her story of survival. She has 2 kids and how they're coping with the aftermath of the horrible things that their dad did. It's interesting. I like the perspective shift away from the actual serial killer into the lives of the fractured lives that he kind of left behind, of not even just the straight up victims, but also like his significant others, his family being victims of his depravity as well. I thought that was pretty interesting. I thought it was well written. The pacing is good. I have no complaints about any of that. And I read the next book in the series, which is called Killman Creek. This one was also pretty good. I didn't go through it quite as quickly as the first one. And then I started the 3rd book in the series, but I didn't love it. I kind of stopped caring about the characters very much and just kind of fell off with it, as I do in some series. It's hard for me to stick around with series unless there's like something amazing going on with the plot. But overall, Rachel Kane would read again, and I thought Stillhouse Lake was an interesting book and a good read if you like serial killer type spotlight things. So next, what did I read? Oh. Okay, so next, it's not on my Kindle thing, but I read, I think it's called If You Tell by Greg OLSEN, and this book is about domestic violence. It's from the perspective of some young people whose mom is particularly like sadistic and abusive in a few different ways, and it really chronicles these tales. She ultimately, I don't want to spoil it, but some crazier shit goes down. It's pretty sad and upsetting. It's disturbing content. You might not find it that disturbing if you go into it knowing that. I didn't think the writing was very good. It took me a while to get through this book as well. I didn't think that the characters were that compelling or interesting, but I would give this book a 3 stars. Oh, I didn't rate Stillhouse Lake. I would give Stillhouse Lake 3.5 to 4 stars. I really enjoyed the first book, but it kind of dwindled at the end. Moving on. If You Tell. So, If You Tell by Greg OLSEN, I would give it 3 stars. Yeah, it's an interesting book. I like family dynamics. I think they're very interesting, but I think that we didn't really delve into the psyche of these characters very much. They just kind of told us like the horrible things that the mom was doing and the way that people were responding without kind of going into the psychology of why the mom was doing what she was doing. And some of it is really freaky and very uncomfortable, but I guess you go into reading this book looking for that probably. I've seen lots of other books by Greg OLSEN on Kindle Unlimited, but I have not felt motivated to read them. I think he does a lot of this kind of torture porn stuff, which is fine if that's your genre, but it didn't do much for me. So next I wanted to kind of go a different route. I felt like I was bombarding my brain with lots of dark and nasty content, so I took a recommendation from another booktuber. Her name is Chandler. I'll link her channel down below, but I decided to read Birthday Girl. Yes, Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas, and this is about a 19-year-old, and she falls for her boyfriend's dad, and like it kind of chronicles their relationship, and their relationship is interesting and it's spicy certainly, and I really like her as a character. I thought that Penelope Douglas did a great job of really creating some dynamic characters, some interesting characters, likable characters for sure. It was pretty smutty. There was a lot of sex type stuff discussed, and that was fun. I liked it. It was good enough. I wasn't really expecting it because most of the books that I've read are not that way, but anyways, I thought it was a good book. I enjoyed it. I would Would I recommend it? Yeah, I'd recommend it. I think I would give this 3.5 to 4 stars. I thought it was fun. It was an enjoyable read. It was lighthearted, and all of the other stuff that I said before. So, Birthday Girl, that was like a very big departure from the rest of the books that I've been reading lately. Oh, before I read Birthday Girl, actually, I read another thriller mystery type novel, and that was A Dark Lure by
I meant Laura.
Beth Ann White. And I really liked this book. I think it is comparable definitely to Stillhouse Lake. I think and this is about a victim of a serial killer who ended up escaping, and she lives on a ranch now. She changed her identity, and it's a very, I like this book a lot because it deals with trauma, and it talks a lot about how people navigate through life when they've undergone traumatic events. And I think that is a topic that we don't talk about as much in true crime type stories or in like serial killer thriller type stories, is that aftermath, like what it does to your brain in the long run. And I thought that was pretty interesting. It was a good book. I liked reading it. The romance was nice. I liked the dynamic there. There was one sex scene, but it wasn't steamy, I wouldn't say. And it was a very satisfying read. I would give this also 3.5, maybe 4 stars. I would recommend it if you like these kinds of books, but it's nothing amazing or mind-shattering. So currently I am reading Where the Forest Meets the Stars by Glendy Vandera, and so far so good. I'm around 10% into it, and I'm enjoying it. It seems kind of whimsical, kind of lighthearted, but also sentimental, which is the kind of stuff I like. I like things that make me think. I like things that have mysterious elements, but not outright magical. And yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed. If you liked this content, let me know. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a subscribe. I would super duper appreciate it. I plan on making more videos about books in the future, and that's about all I have for you today. Thank you very much. I love you very much. Peace out, guys.